Hello and welcome to the 97th Annual Convocation of St. Stephen's College. I'm Fred Tappenden, the Principal and Dean of St. Stephen's. We are delighted that you have gathered with us to celebrate this auspicious and joyful occasion, the convocation of our 2021 graduating students. Again this year, we find ourselves gathered in the most curious of ways. For the second year in a row, our convocation is being held virtually. We are not so much gathered as we are scattered in many different places. Though I and others in this ceremony are together here on the St. Stephen's College campus, you, our graduands, together with your family and loved ones, are scattered in many different places around the world. Much to our disappointment, the pandemic prevents us at this time from joining together in person to celebrate your accomplishments. It is our strong hope that once the pandemic abates, we can come together on campus again to recognize your accomplishments. At present, though we are scattered, we nevertheless join our hearts together with excitement and a much celebration, lifting up you, our graduands, to recognize not only your accomplishments over the past several years, but also the great works of caring, healing, and ministry that await you in your careers ahead. Over the next hour and a bit, our program will feature many familiar faces from around the college. Our ceremony will begin with a land acknowledgement, words of invocation, and welcome from Dr. Kae Neufeld, Chair of Academic Senate, and Mr. Larry Durkach, Chair of the Board. After these words of welcome, we will honor 4 individuals with awards and honorary degrees in recognition of their contributions to fields as diverse as healthcare, mental and spiritual health, post-secondary education, religious communities, and social services. Our convocation address will be delivered by Mr. Omar Yaqub, who also is an honorary degree recipient this year. Toward the middle of our ceremony, we will take time to reflect on those within the St. Stephen's community who have died this past year, and our reflection will be deepened with cello accompaniment by Mr. John Fedor. And of course, our department chairs will present each graduand to our co-chancellors, Colm and Lynda O'Carroll, who in turn will confer or confirm each degree and certificate. Toward the end of our ceremony, members of the St. Stephen's Board, Senate, and program committees will bring notes of congratulations to our graduands from around the college. While watching this ceremony, I invite you to visit the St. Stephen's College website, where we have published a series of alumni profiles that highlight many of this year's graduating students, both in the spring of 2021 and the fall of 2021. Though we are all scattered in many different places, these online profiles will allow you to interact with and to learn more about many of the students graduating this year. For those of you who reside in or around Edmonton, I invite you this Friday evening to take a drive across our city's iconic high-level bridge. We have arranged with the City of Edmonton that this Friday, November 5th, the lights of the high-level bridge will be illuminated in the colors of St. Stephen's College, purple, green, and gold. If you are able, we encourage you to take a drive that evening, enjoy the lights, and bask in the glow of the successes of our graduating students. Again, welcome to the 97th Annual Convocation of St. Stephen's College. Let us begin our time together by joining in song to sing the national anthem with accompaniment by Mr. John Fedor.
Hello. On behalf of the Academic Senate, welcome to the 97th Convocation of St. Stephen's College. This is a celebration of the completion of many years of study and practice for the graduating class of 2021. Though we are all scattered in many different places, we honor the land on which the college is situated and on which many of our students have studied these several past years. We acknowledge that the college is situated on sacred lands. The territory known as Treaty 6 is a traditional meeting ground, gathering place, and traveling route to many Indigenous peoples. We acknowledge also that our graduands and their loved ones gather in different places, including the lands of Treaty 6, Treaty 7, Treaty 8, and many other traditional and unceded territories. We acknowledge that many First Nations, Métis, and Inuit whose footprints have marked these lands for centuries. We gather today virtually to observe the ancient rites and rituals of convocation. We are nourished by these traditions and by our ongoing search for transformation. The tradition of convocation lifts our minds and encourages our hearts. We celebrate with you, graduates, as we acknowledge both the achievements that have led you to this place and the great things to which you all will undertake from this moment forward. As we gather for convocation, may all meaningful customs be celebrated today for the good of all people who strive for justice and wisdom and who express compassion.
Good afternoon. My name is Larry Durkach, and I have the honor and privilege of chairing the Board of Governors. Along with our eminent Co-Chancellors, and on behalf of the Board, a warm and hearty welcome to all of you, graduands, distinguished guests, friends and family, faculty and staff, and all others who find yourself in the warm embrace of the St. Stephen's College community. A special welcome to Omar Yaqub, who, in addition to receiving the Honorary Doctor of Sacred Letters degree, will deliver our Convocation Address. It's our 97th convocation, but the roots of St. Stephen's College stretch back some 110 plus years to 1908. Over those years, the college has thrived through 2 devastating world wars, a profound economic depression, and indeed another pandemic, the Spanish flu, a century ago. Had we the time, I could also list any number of serious disruptions of a less worldwide nature. So in the long view, to hold convocation in this unusual way because of the COVID pandemic is perhaps just another example of the creativity, adaptability, and determination that are the hallmarks of this remarkable institution, one whose history we have inherited and which we continue to co-create as we move forward amidst today's challenges and opportunities. So much of this ability to thrive is due to a commitment to strive towards a vision with a clear idea of our role in achieving it. It's important to rethink and refresh that vision and mission from time to time as our understandings and the culture around us evolve. After 2 years of extensive discussion and consultation, our newly articulated vision, mission, and value statement has been adopted. We envision a world where spiritual seekers of all faith traditions and worldviews transform their communities into places of greater acceptance, justice, creativity, flourishing, and hope. To that end, St. Stephen's College engages and equips compassionate, globally conscious learners and leaders, researchers and practitioners who integrate spirituality into their lives, communities, and professions. It is that intentionality that inspires what we do, from how we govern, to how we form partnerships, to how we develop courses, to how we teach, to how students are guided to shape their unique ways of relevant and meaningful engagement with the world. So here we are, mindful of our heritage, immersed in the present, hopeful for the future, celebrating with our hallowed traditions, persons and achievements that are innovative, insightful, and full of promise. And so in this context, I turn to you who will be presenting yourselves on our virtual stage to be formally acknowledged for having achieved the high standards set for the degrees and certificates you have earned. As you graduate in these unusual times, you go forth into a world that is ever-changing and full of new challenges. It demands that you never cease your learning journey and that you continue to live and practice your vocations with creativity and a passion to stay relevant and responsive. And I have no doubt you will. While we have not had the usual presentations of capstones and theses, your professors have shared with the board glimpses of your work. Your great variety of backgrounds and courses of study have brought an impressive richness to your academic achievements. You have immersed your whole selves into philosophical and theological questions and reflected deeply on your research and your practice. You continue your journeys in the communities you serve, better equipped to make a difference with your own unique gifts. Your achievements that we celebrate today hold great significance. Congratulations to each and all of you. And now, as we continue with the ancient rites of convocation in this very 21st century platform, may you be imbued with peace and love. Let this community bind us all together in the great endeavor to serve for the benefit of all people.
A vibrant college is one that not only graduates exceptional students who enrich the world, but also one that honors those individuals who best exemplify the vision and mission that the college embodies. Today, we honor 4 individuals with awards and honorary degrees in recognition of their substantive and lasting contributions to the fields of healthcare, mental and spiritual health, post-secondary education, religious communities, and social services. 2 of these individuals will receive the Order of St. Stephen's College. This award is given annually to a person or a group making or having made an outstanding contribution through leadership and or advocacy in the local, provincial, national, or international context. What distinguishes a recipient of the Order of St. Stephen's College is a person or persons who have worked for the improvement and nurture of society within fields such as education, faith and religious communities, and or care of the earth. Today, we recognize 2 women who have made such contributions, one to the field of ordered religious ministry and the other to the field of mental health and wellness. In addition to awarding the Order of St. Stephen's College, today we also award 2 honorary doctorates. It has been the tradition of the college since 1917 to grant honorary degrees in recognition of individuals who have made exceptional contributions of leadership or ministry, either to their faith community or in spiritually integrated ways to the broader human community. The honorary degrees that we award today, 2 doctorates of sacred letters, recognize service to the community at large and to religious communities, as well as exemplary service to St. Stephen's College. The recipients are individuals whose contributions reflect meritorious service and outstanding leadership of a high order, one in the fields of mental and spiritual health and also post-secondary education, and the other in the areas of social services and faith community leadership. Without question, the 2 individuals whom we honor today are worthy of this recognition.
I have the honor today of presenting the 2020 Order of St. Stephen's College to Elizabeth Betty Marlin. Betty is honored with the order in recognition of her lifelong commitment to the vision of justice and compassion in the vocation of diaconal ministry in the United Church of Canada. Diaconal ministry is a ministry of education, service, and pastoral care. And for Betty, the core vision of justice and compassion was part of all 3 of these elements. Throughout her life, Betty has had a major influence on the diaconal community, particularly in the Western Canadian provinces. Early in her ministry, Betty was part of a small group of diaconal ministers who pushed for the formation of a diaconal association. This led to the establishment in 1984 of the Association of Practitioners of Diaconal Ministry, known as Diaconia of the United Church of Canada. In the late 1980s and early 1990s, Betty was instrumental in both establishing and coordinating the Western Field-Based Diaconal Ministry Program, which was sponsored by St. Stephen's College from 1989 to 1996. This work in Western Canada was followed up by 4 years in Zambia, where she taught at the United Church of Zambia's Theological College, contributing to the training of students studying for ordained and diaconal ministry. Throughout her life, she has been an active member of the United Church of Canada, working and/or volunteering in various capacities in both Alberta and Saskatchewan, notably as conference staff in social ministry. Betty was active in the development and training of the Sexual Abuse and Harassment Committee, and in education and advocacy for the LGBTQ2+ community, and in the promotion of language and action that builds gender equality in church life and beyond. Betty has previously been recognized with the Doctor of Divinity, honoris causa, from St. Andrew's College in 1999, and as a companion of the Center for Christian Studies in 2006.
It is my great privilege to present Dr. Marilyn Hundleby with the 2021 Order of St. Stephen's College. Dr. Hundleby is recognized for her work with Wellspring Edmonton, both as one of the founders of the organization and as the current psychologist and program director. Under her leadership, Wellspring Edmonton offers a broad range of programs that afford a multitude of opportunities to gain deeper understandings of the lived experiences of patients and their families going through the diagnosis of cancer, including treatment and beyond. At present, Wellspring Edmonton provides over 48 evidence-based and evidence-informed programs offered by credentialed and experienced facilitators. These programs span many categories: expressive arts, exercise, music, and group and individual support, and are designed to address the needs of patients, partners, the bereaved, caregivers, volunteers, and family members. Dr. Hundleby's involvement with Wellspring Edmonton stretches back to 2008, when she was one of the founding members of the organization and worked tirelessly to fundraise the materials and labor needed to construct Wellspring Edmonton's 12,000 square foot facility. A major interest of Dr. Hundleby throughout her career has been the integration of arts in the healing process, particularly after medical and psychological trauma. She is the author of numerous academic articles, presentations, posters, and workshops, including co-author with Sandy Abbott of Cancer and the Art of Healing, Alberta Cancer Foundation, 2006. Prior to her work at Wellspring Edmonton, she also founded the Arts in Medicine program at the Cross Cancer Institute. Dr. Hundleby is the recipient of numerous awards and honors, including the Salute to Excellence Award from the City of Edmonton in 2018, 2 awards from the Look Good, Feel Better in 2012 and 2017, and she was named a Global Edmonton Woman of Vision in 2002.
Eminent Chancellors, I present to you Lorraine Nicely. Lorraine is honored for her transformative and integrative contributions in the areas of pastoral counseling, spiritually integrated psychotherapy, and ecological spirituality. In addition to graduate degrees in theology and religious education, Ms. Nicely holds professional certifications as a Canadian Association for Spiritual Care, or CASC certified psychospiritual therapist, a CASC certified supervisor educator in the PCE stream, and a diplomat of the American Association of Spiritual Counselors. Ms. Nicely's contributions to the Canadian Association of Spiritual Care are numerous and well celebrated. She is a past president of CASC, 1991 to 92, during which time she addressed aspects of the association's governance that disadvantaged women. Under her leadership, the association also developed and secured its first code of ethics, which in turn led to the establishment of common standards of ethical practice and professional behavior across Canada and the United States. In the mid-1980s, Ms. Nicely was hired by the Pastoral Institute of Edmonton as both a pastoral counselor and a supervisor. As the director of training and later executive director, Ms. Nicely assisted in the transformation of the Pastoral Institute of Edmonton into the Community Counseling Centre in 1995. Her work at the Community Counseling Centre caused Ms. Nicely to see the need for Edmonton-based graduate-level education in pastoral counseling. And as a result, in the early 2000s, she was one of the co-founders of the Master of Arts in Pastoral Psychology and Counseling degree at St. Stephen's College, which is known today as the Master of Psychotherapy and Spirituality. Ms. Nicely served St. Stephen's College in many capacities through her career, both on the Academic Senate, 2002 to 2011, and as both a member and convener of the Psychotherapy and Spirituality Program Committee, 1998 to 2018. During these years, Ms. Nicely also founded and facilitated the Kukui Fountainhead Retreat Center in Devon, Alberta, from 1999 to 2017. And she shared regularly in the communal life of Edmonton's L'Arche community from 2009 to 2020. The Kukui Fountainhead Retreat Center fostered nature-centered spiritual practices that modeled ecologically sustainable ways of living off the land. Through almost 2 decades of work at Kukui Fountainhead and a decade of work with L'Arche, Ms. Nicely fostered welcoming, sacred spaces that nourished body and soul for anyone seeking spiritually integrated counseling, spiritual direction, and innovative healing modalities. Ms. Nicely is a recipient of the CASC Award of Excellence in Pastoral Practice for Counseling, 2006. She was one of 4 women recognized by CASC as the Honoring Women celebration in 2010, and she is the recipient of the CASC Verda Rokan Distinguished Service Award in 2018. Through her years of service to the community at Kukui Fountainhead, through her private practice, and her mentoring of spiritual caregivers, Ms. Nicely has embodied and practiced the college's understanding of ministry as the self-reflective awareness of the nurturing quality of service to the human community and to the earth. Eminent Chancellors, I present to you Lorraine Nicely, who, having satisfied the requirements as set forth by St. Stephen's College, is entitled to be admitted to the honorary degree Doctor of Sacred Letters, and to share in the rights, privileges, and dignities which pertain to that degree.
By virtue of the authority vested in St. Stephen's College by the Province of Alberta, with the consent of the Academic Senate of the College, and having regard for contributions recognized in your citation, I confer upon you the degree Doctor of Sacred Letters, honoris causa.
Eminent Chancellors, I present to you Omar Yaqub. Omar Yaqub is honored for his exceptional service that has brought about transformation and international recognition to Edmonton's social services sector. Mr. Yaqub currently serves as the Servant of Servants, or Executive Director, of Edmonton's Islamic Family and Social Services Association, the IFSSA. Through multiple years of volunteer and professional service, he has helped the IFSSA grow from a neighborhood organization that served 2,500 people per year to a Canadian leader that serves 5,000 people per month. Under his guidance, the IFSSA has increased access to socially, spiritually, and culturally relevant services for marginalized and barriered populations across a number of realms, including food security, domestic violence, corrections, and foster care. Through his work with the IFSSA, Mr. Yaqub has made significant contributions to faith communities and the social services sector in Edmonton, forging partnerships with the Greater Edmonton Alliance, the Edmonton Food Bank, Bent Arrow, Catholic Social Services, the Mennonite Central Committee, Big Brothers and Big Sisters, and more than 30 Muslim organizations. Mr. Yaqub is regarded as a unifying figure who has helped connect isolated communities to one another. He has turned intra-community rivalries into partnerships and alliances in diverse areas from politics to social services. When he started with the IFSSA, the association's focus was primarily on one Edmonton suburb. Today, it is a culturally and spiritually relevant organization that provides service in more than 8 languages, works closely with Indigenous partners, and draws together diverse peoples with origins in more than 60 nations. Mr. Yaqub has created sustainable sacred spaces within the Muslim community that are welcoming of different faiths and focused on those in need of service. Through his advocacy, the first Muslim paid chaplaincy program was created at the University of Alberta and NAIT. He has also worked from a multi-faith position, including partnership building with Mennonites and Catholics to help settle more than 500 refugees in Edmonton, forging connections with Indigenous elders and working with Sikhs, Buddhists, Hindus, and others to advocate for more inclusive schooling practices within the Edmonton Public School Board. Mr. Yaqub is the recipient of several awards, including the EMCN Rise Award for Community Service in 2015, the University of Alberta Business School Co-op Mentor of the Year, also in 2015, and an Alberta Centennial Medal of Honor in 2005. Under his leadership, the IFSSA received the Government of Alberta Inspiration Award for combating domestic violence in 2020, the Canadian Mental Health Association Professional Care Award, also in 2020, and has achieved accreditation with Imagine Canada in 2020. Eminent Chancellors, I present to you Omar Yaqub, who, having satisfied the requirements as set forth by St. Stephen's College, is entitled to be admitted to the honorary degree Doctor of Sacred Letters and to share in the rights, privileges, and dignities which pertain to that degree.
By virtue of the authority vested in St. Stephen's College by the Province of Alberta, and with the consent of the Academic Senate of the College, and having regard for contributions recognised in your citation, I confer upon you the degree Doctor of Sacred Letters, honoris causa.
We are delighted today to welcome our convocation speaker, Mr. Omar Yaqub. Mr. Yaqub is, as we have just heard, one of this year's recipients of the honorary degree Doctor of Sacred Letters. He is the servant of servants, or executive director, of Edmonton's Islamic Family and Social Services Association, the IFSSA. As we have just heard, his many accomplishments are far-reaching and touch on many areas of civic, social, and religious life here in Edmonton. His work with the IFSSA has impacted both local and global communities and subsequently spurred transformative change in the not-for-profit, social services, and corporate sectors. As one of his nominators wrote, Omar is an exceptional luminary who has dedicated his life to the betterment and flourishing of the community at large. It is my great pleasure to welcome Omar Yaqub to deliver this year's Convocation Address titled Spiritual Originality in Care.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I begin in the name of the Creator, God, Allah, who is known by many names, and who has revealed that He is the most gracious, the most merciful. I ask that He bless this gathering and the venerated land upon which this gathering is held, a land we recognize as the ancestral home of the indigenous people, the Cree, Blackfoot, Métis, Nakota Sioux, Iroquois, Dene, Ojibwe, Saulteaux, Anishinaabe, Innu, and many others, to whom we are bound by treaty, our shared humanity, and our sacred call to brotherhood, sisterhood, and civic duty. May God, in His graciousness and mercy, support us all in our work with each other. May He help us to remember the work of those who have come before us. May He bless our ancestors whose prayers and efforts show fruition each day. May we lovingly share the gifts that our predecessors have left us. May we flourish in the work that is still to be done. May our Creator bless us this day and allow us to go forth as sources of light and sustenance in our homes and community. I want to congratulate you, the parents, the partners, the teachers, and special people who have contributed to these graduates. And to you, the graduates, I want to thank you for pursuing a noble calling and seeking to be the care that others need, and in so doing, brightening the world, both the visible world we share and the unseen realities our actions together impact. And to St. Stephen's College, how did you end up choosing this goofy, geeky prairie boy from Mundare, Alberta for this honor? I'm hardly worthy of this title. My achievements pale in comparison to many of those listening. Nevertheless, I'm honored and humbled. Thank you. I was raised in small town Alberta. I did my MBA and undergrad here at the U of A. I helped start MBAs Without Borders and the Social Enterprise Fund. Spent 2 years in global development, 13 years teaching social enterprise and corporate sustainability at the MBA level, a number of years in management consulting focused on engagement-based research and values-rooted communication. Through all of this, I dabbled in social services. And for the last few years, I've made that my primary focus. In my time with the organization Islamic Family, we've gone from a neighborhood focus to national significance. More than 2/3 of our programs didn't exist 4 years ago, and we now serve more people in a single month than we did in all of 2016. I want to talk to you about something that's weighing on me, a question I continue to wrestle with and care about. I didn't choose to do the work I do because it was easy or because I wanted to grow an organization or boast about achievements. I didn't want to perpetuate the broken system nonprofits work in. I wanted, and I still want to serve sincerely and earnestly. Asking how to do this is what gets me through my days. As a Muslim, seeking to connect the work I do to my spiritual tradition is something I find myself traversing every day. There's a strange conceptual tension in which policy meets piety. I wonder daily how the work I do can be truly rooted in my faith tradition. This is a question many of us wrestle with. We've all seen well-intentioned but sorry attempts that go little beyond attaching labels. Let me explain. Years ago, I'm in downtown Edmonton at a hip lunch spot with some friends and a visiting Muslim scholar. We walk up to the artful chalkboard menu and then look quizzically at each other. The featured dish is Islamic salmon. What is Islamic salmon? Did the label make it spiritual? Islam is not a taste, a place, or a spice blend. What flavor profile can collectively sum up people from Toronto and Timbuktu? I asked the maitre d', what is it? And I got a puzzled look and a fumbled explanation. She didn't know either. Spiritual facades, like Islamic salmon, are surface level, circumspect, and suspicious. The more we get into the rhythms of life, of work and family, of firefighting and jumping from crisis to crisis, of success and celebration, the more essential it becomes to examine what we do. I told you that the organization I serve now helps more people in 1 month than it did in all of 2016. That growth is not something that I think should be applauded. It needs to be interrogated. Is growth in social service agencies something good, or an indicator of misery, systemic problems run amok, and a need for critical examination and alternative approaches? My experience has been that oftentimes, when we attempt to integrate tradition in our professions, we tend to focus on facades, not foundations. We learn something or take something we're already doing and then apply a spiritual veneer to it. We can find benefit in Buddhist mindfulness, but shouldn't forget that it's only a starting point to self-exploration, not a destination. We need to explore beyond the surface. Spiritual originality involves us questioning what we're doing, examining how different worldviews and philosophical traditions might help us to see problems differently. Early in my leadership of Islamic family, a well-studied friend led me to question my understanding of the organization's primary revenue source. That source of income, zakat, is often translated as charity, but what that friend helped me to see is that zakat is actually quite different. It's not charity. It doesn't even belong to the organizations to which it's given. I learned that zakat is better characterized as economic justice, not alms, tithing, a tax, or charity. That zakat funds are the property of the poor and not for use for other charitable causes, regardless of how worthy. This was a huge existential crisis for me. Had I been treating the sacred trust with the respect it was due? I had to question if we could even sustain our operations without depending on our traditional primary source of funds. Rather than cause great stress, it forced us to work differently. From accounting to the front line, it helped us serve better. Because we couldn't use zakat for our general needs, and because it came with a heavy burden to dispense quickly and efficiently, our motivations around fundraising shifted. For anybody who's worked in the nonprofit sector, you know that donations and the pursuit of them often owns us. We feel continuously pressured to pursue money so that we can continue to do what we do to grow our orgs and our egos. Seeing donations as a pass-through, as a hot potato we relay between community members, frees us to be less paternalistic, more focused on dignity, and see donations as obligations. As my pastor friends would say, it lets us let go and let God. It personally made me far less anxious about fundraising and facilitated deep introspection on our team. It took me a few years to make the changes we needed. But a short while later, our revenue multiplied more than 5 times, and we've been awarded the Government of Alberta's Inspiration Award for combating domestic violence and the Canadian Mental Health Award for professional care. The lesson learned for me was that engaging our tradition is hard work, but it makes us better. Spiritual originality isn't narrow. It's about expanding our understanding. I was talking with a high-level government official in the Department of Children's Services. They told me one of the big challenges they face is that many Indigenous families are unwilling to accept permanence in child custody for kids in care. And this was at odds with the province's objective to find forever homes. This made me think of the challenges many Muslims have with the system because they believe conventional adoption is impermissible, in part because of its permanence. We could try to convince Indigenous and Muslim families to abide or conform to a dysfunctional system. We could continue to feed the vicious cycle, or we can begin to engage the problem. Why the resistance to forever homes? What alternatives would better serve children? How might we work together to build something that prioritizes maintaining family connections, identity, and tradition? The core belief in both of these Indigenous and Muslim traditions is that lineage is sacred. Holding on to this, preserving it, and building on it leads us to new ways of working with families. This is what spiritual originality is about. Through shared beliefs, communities of settlers and First Peoples can better collaborate and improve systems, not just for ourselves, but for everyone. Not all of us are coming from a spiritual tradition or involved in care work. Even then, it's still important to reflect upon our assumptions and the values of those around us. We need to examine cause and effect, look at sources of self-worth, and examine conventional solutions and the systems we work in. We need to open ourselves up to shifting our worldview so that we can find better options. For those coming from rich traditions, we owe it to those traditions to not be imitative, but innovative. Spirituality is not something we sprinkle on our work to make it appeal to a niche. It is something that should challenge us to question ourselves, the systems we work in, and the outcomes we want to achieve. I think this approach is critically important in the time we are in, and for those involved in care work. Seeing the same problem day after day is a recipe for burnout. Self-care alone cannot ameliorate despair. Whilst we can't expect to solve intractable problems, spiritual originality can allow us to see the same problems in different ways, and in so doing, allow us to flourish amidst adversity. So what is spiritual originality? It's not about being unique. It's about being authentic and genuinely examining and exploring the way we do things. It's using the richness of philosophical traditions to challenge ourselves and convention. It's asking critical and difficult questions about what and how we operate without the expectation of direct or easy answers. Spiritual originality is about deepening curiosity, building relationships, exploring the causes of complex problems, and returning to the roots of philosophical traditions to find guidance. It's about seeking and questioning. You may be heading to your dream job or a routine that you find less than exciting. My hope is that you will think about how the problems you see day to day, from interactions with friends and family to counseling on the same problem again and again, are a part of a deeper cycle of self-reflection and contemplation. This work, your work, will be challenging. It will be slow. It will be incremental. It may put you at odds with systems. It may ask you to question what you do and why, and it will be transformational. I'd like to close with a quote from Dr. Cornel West and a prayer. If your success is defined as being well adjusted to injustice and well adapted to indifference, then we don't want successful leaders. We want great leaders who love the people enough and respect the people enough to be unsought, unbound, unafraid, and unintimidated to tell the truth. I pray that the most beneficent, who mercifully created us, in different tribes and nations so that we can recognize one another, allow us spiritual realizations, heartfelt reconciliation, and beauty in our journeys. May we always be humbled in his remembrance, and may peace and blessings be upon all who serve. Amen.
Thank you, Mr. Yaqub, for your insightful, engaging, and challenging words. Our gathering today is a time for celebration, yes, but it also is an opportunity to remember those in the St. Stephen's community whom we have lost this past year. I want to note especially two individuals who were well connected at St. Stephen's and well loved within our community. The first is the Reverend Dr. George Rogers, who completed his Doctor of Ministry degree at St. Stephen's in 1983. Dr. Rogers went on to serve in 2003 as the interim president of the then amalgamated St. Stephen's College and St. Andrew's College, and he taught Christian scriptures from 2004 to 2013 as part of the college's lay worship leader certificate program. In addition to his work with St. Stephen's, Dr. Rogers served in pastoral ministry for many years in both Saskatchewan and Alberta, and also was the former executive secretary of the Alberta and Northwest Conference of the United Church of Canada. The second individual is Ms. Roxanne Tatoussis, who was both a current student in our Master of Psychotherapy and Spirituality program and also a 2020 graduate of our Graduate Certificate in Spiritually Informed Psychotherapy. In addition to her studies at St. Stephen's, Roxanne was a social worker who made important contributions to the field of Indigenous spiritual care at the Royal Alexandra Hospital. A noted and well-respected leader in her Cree community, Roxanne was particularly known for her work at MacEwan University, where she served as the university's first full-time Indigenous knowledge keeper. Both George and Roxanne were well loved within the St. Stephen's community, and the impact that they each had on both the college and their broader communities was important and significant in many ways. With many this year, we celebrate their lives and we mourn their passing. And so today, as we gather virtually, both to remember and to celebrate, I'm delighted at this time to invite Mr. John Fedor to perform for us. Mr. Fedor is a local Edmontonian who began his cello studies at the age of 10. He received his Bachelor of Music degree from the University of Alberta in 2010. From 2009 to 2010, he performed as a member of the Symphony Orchestra Academy of the Pacific, where he also completed a conductor's program in 2010 and 2011 under the direction of Arthur Arnold, now music director of the Moscow Symphony Orchestra. Mr. Fedor performs locally as a current member of the Wild Rose String Quartet, and he also is the principal cellist of the Concordia Symphony Orchestra. He received his Bachelor of Education degree from the University of Alberta and is currently employed with the Edmonton Public School Board as an elementary music specialist and assistant principal of Ormsby School. Please join me in welcoming John Fedor. We will now confer the degrees and certificates upon our Fall 2021 graduands, and also formally acknowledge the graduates whose degrees were awarded in Spring 2021. Graduands will be presented by order of their degree program, beginning first with master's degrees, and then the bachelor degrees, and finally graduate certificates. Each graduand will be presented to our co-chancellors by the chair of their program, and the co-chancellors will in turn confer each degree or certificate. I invite everyone attending today's virtual convocation to follow along on the St. Stephen's website, where you can see pictures and bios of many of this year's graduating students.
Eminent Chancellors, I present to you Anna Victoria Garner, David Rees, and Megan Chandro, who, having satisfied the requirements as set forth by St. Stephen's College, are entitled to be admitted to the degree Master of Psychotherapy and Spirituality, and to share in the rights, privileges, and responsibilities which pertain to that degree.
By virtue of the authority vested in St. Stephen's College by the Province of Alberta, and with the consent of the Academic Senate of the College, I admit the students just named to the degree Master of Psychotherapy and Spirituality.
Eminent Chancellors, I present to you Tiana Mapstone, who, having satisfied the requirements as set forth by St. Stephen's College, is entitled to be admitted to the degree Master of Psychotherapy and Spirituality, Art Therapy Specialization, and to share in the rights, privileges, and responsibilities which pertain to that degree.
By virtue of the authority vested in St. Stephen's College by the Province of Alberta, and with the consent of the Academic Senate of the College, I admit the student just named to the degree Master of Psychotherapy and Spirituality, Art Therapy Specialization.
Eminent Chancellors, I present to you Katrina Grabner, who, having satisfied the requirements as set forth by St. Stephen's College, was admitted in Spring 2021 to the degree Master of Psychotherapy and Spirituality, Art Therapy Specialization, and now shares in the rights, privileges, and responsibilities which pertain to that degree.
By virtue of the authority vested in St. Stephen's College by the Province of Alberta, and with the consent of the Academic Senate of the College, I confirm that the student just named has been admitted to the degree of Master of Psychotherapy and Spirituality, Art Therapy Specialization.
Eminent Chancellors, I present to you Stephen Inglis, who, having satisfied the requirements as set forth by St. Stephen's College, is entitled to be admitted to the degree Master of Theological Studies, Spirituality Specialization, and to share in the rights, privileges, and responsibilities which pertain to that degree.
By virtue of the authority vested in St. Stephen's College by the Province of Alberta, and with the consent of the Academic Senate of the College, I admit the student just named to the degree Master of Theological Studies, Spirituality Specialization.
Eminent Chancellors, I present to you Karen Olandi, who, having satisfied the requirements as set forth by St. Stephen's College, was admitted in Spring 2021 to the degree of Bachelor of Theological Studies in Diaconal Ministry, and now shares in the rights, privileges, and responsibilities which pertain to that degree.
By virtue of the authority vested in St. Stephen's College by the Province of Alberta, and with the consent of the Academic Senate of the College, I confirm that the student just named has been admitted to the degree Bachelor of Theological Studies in Diaconal Ministry.
Eminent Chancellors, I present to you Corina Centeno, Willis Kushler, Carrie Mastre, who having satisfied the requirements as set forth by St. Stephen's College, are entitled to receive the graduate certificate in spiritually informed psychotherapy.
By virtue of the authority vested in St. Stephen's College by the Province of Alberta, and with the consent of the Academic Senate of the College, I grant the students just named the Graduate Certificate in Spiritually Informed Psychotherapy.
Eminent Chancellors, I present to you Danielle Fiddler, Chandra Mannix, Rebecca Smith-Mantin, and Dale Yardy, who having satisfied the requirements as set forth by St. Stephen's College, were granted in spring 2021 the Graduate Certificate in Spiritually Informed Psychotherapy.
By virtue of the authority vested in St. Stephen's College by the Province of Alberta, and with the consent of the Academic Senate of the College, I confirm that the students just named have been granted the Graduate Certificate in Spiritually Informed Psychotherapy.
Eminent Chancellors, I present to you Carrie Mastre, who, having satisfied the requirements as set forth by St. Stephen's College, is entitled to receive the Graduate Certificate in Spiritually Informed Creative Arts.
By virtue of the authority vested in St. Stephen's College by the Province of Alberta, and with the consent of the Academic Senate of the College, I grant the student just named the Graduate Certificate in Spiritually Informed Creative Arts.
Eminent Chancellors, I present to you Diana Klein, Martina Kiest, and Raven Van Camp, who, having satisfied the requirements as set forth by St. Stephen's College, were granted in spring 2021 the Graduate Certificate in Spiritually Informed Creative Arts.
By virtue of the authority vested in St. Stephen's College by the Province of Alberta, and with the consent of the Academic Senate of the College, I confirm that the student just named has been granted the Graduate Certificate in Spiritually Informed Creative Arts.
Eminent Chancellors, I present to you Claudia Garcia Martinez, who, having satisfied the requirements as set forth by St. Stephen's College, was granted in spring of 2021 the Graduate Certificate in Theological Studies.
By virtue of the authority vested in St. Stephen's College by the Province of Alberta, and with the consent of the Academic Senate of the College, I confirm that the student just named has been granted the Graduate Certificate in Theological Studies. Congratulations, everybody. A wonderful achievement, especially during these difficult times. I'd like to leave you with a blessing. May you walk with grace, and may the light of the universe shine upon your path. Good luck, everybody.
Dear graduates, well done. Way to go. I wish you all the best. Take care.
Congratulations, dear graduates, for your great accomplishment, and all the best for your future.
Congratulations. May you go from here with joy to transform the world in ways in which you can.
Congratulations, graduates. We join your family and friends in celebrating you and your achievements today. Well done.
Warmest congratulations and good wishes to the St. Stephen's College class of 2021.
Congratulations, graduates. What a day, what an accomplishment. We're so proud of you, and we wish you all success as you carry on from St. Stephen's.
All you graduands, fantastic, you did it. Congratulations.
Congratulations on this amazing accomplishment. I hope your experience at St. Stephen's College has opened up new possibilities for you. So my sincere best wishes for whatever your next steps might be.
Congratulations, you did it.
Congratulations, graduates, and best wishes for the future. We send good wishes and hopes to all the graduates as you continue to learn and practice in your chosen fields. Congratulations on reaching this important milestone on your journeys. From Mary Norton and Rob Hankinson in Mi'kma'ki, Nova Scotia.
Congratulations, all graduates, for your attainments. Best of luck as you continue on your journey.
According to Irish playwright George Bernard Shaw, life isn't about finding yourself, life is about creating yourself. And your accomplishments today is a giant leap forward in that creation. Congratulations.
With your achievements that we celebrate today, you have already made a difference in the world. I know it is only one of many more to come. Congratulations.
This is the day you have worked long and hard for. Now that you have achieved it, go out into the community and beyond and make a difference.
Congratulations, graduates, on your tremendous achievement. It is so exciting to think about all of the ways that the knowledge and personal growth you've acquired will inform your journey ahead. Best wishes.
Congratulations and best wishes to all of you graduands this year.
Congratulations, everybody.
Congratulations, graduates. You have done it. I'm sure today comes with all kinds of experiences, including a strong sense of pride and joy and accomplishment. Throughout your years of study at St. Stephen's, you have engaged your whole person in learning that both forms and informs your very self. Your journey at St. Stephen's now is complete. Or perhaps it now enters a new chapter. You no longer are students of the college, but rather alumni. And as such, you step into a rich tradition of transformation, healing, and social engagement. Each of you came to St. Stephen's College as students with high expectations and dreams for the future. I trust that as you've engaged in your studies, these expectations and dreams were challenged, that they were deepened, that they were expanded through the course of your education. I'm sure there were many moments of excitement and insight, the proverbial aha moments, when your learning seemed to align into a coherent whole. But I'm also sure that there were moments of frustration and doubt and discouragement, moments when the burden of studies seemed too great, the challenge of continuing on seemed too large. But as is often said, the darkness is greatest just before the dawn, and here you all are today, standing in the bright light of your achievements, equipped with the knowledge and skills and self-awareness needed to go out into the world and to change it for the better. Well done. Today, we, the faculty, staff, board, senate, and program committees of St. Stephen's College, we stand together with you and we celebrate with you. Today, you can stand proudly in the recognition of your accomplishments. And of course, there are many people to thank as we stand here today. We give thanks to our faculty and staff and the many individuals who commit themselves to providing educational experiences that form the whole person. We give thanks today for the family and friends of our graduating students who have provided the encouragement and the support and solidarity needed to reach this milestone. We give thanks today to the many volunteers who gave their time and give their effort to enrich and to deepen the work of St. Stephen's College. And we give thanks today to our generous donors whose support enables the college to continue offering educational experiences that form compassionate, globally conscious learners and leaders, researchers and practitioners who integrate spirituality into their lives, communities, and professions. You graduates who have convocated today, you are the newest chapter in the history of this 113-year-old project called St. Stephen's College. You stand in a rich tradition of learning and applied action that is oriented towards spiritual and mental wellness. As I've had the pleasure to review your student files, to see the breadth of your coursework and the training in which you have engaged, and to hear about the research that many of you have conducted in your capstone and thesis projects, I am so optimistic not only for the future of St. Stephen's College, but also for the future of the public good wherever you apply yourselves. I am excited to see what contributions you will make to the worlds and spheres in which you live and work. I am excited to see how you will take your education from St. Stephen's and apply it in ways that bring transformation and healing to the brokenness of our world. My best wishes to you, and my thoughts are with you all. And always remember that though you leave us here today, you will always have a home and a community at St. Stephen's College. And with that, I want to close our time together with a blessing. This is a blessing that is inspired by and draws on a Jewish blessing from the Talmud. It is a blessing for all of our paths, that they may be ever lit and ever full as we journey on from this moment of celebration. May the divine light that dwells in each one of us cause love, humanity, peace, and friendship to dwell in our midst. May the divine light that dwells in each one of us widen our boundaries through discipline, populate our goals with hope and with future, appoint us a share of the light's warmth and illumination, direct us in the world through good companions and good impulses. And may the divine light that dwells in each one of us cause us to rise in the morning and find our hearts waiting to seek truth. Thank you. It's been such a pleasure to join with you today, and congratulations.